This is the lower third that you are going to create in this lecture. This lecture is meant for the beginners in After Effects. I just want to encourage you to start creating immediately, to create your animation and add some lower third to your videos. It is not necessary to go through all After Effects and so many details and stories for you to start creating the first animation. It's much better if you dive in, try to create something small that will give you the courage and the satisfaction that you can work in After Effects and create some awesome videos. It's going to be very easy and very simple. I will urge you to follow along with me or listen to this lecture and then go back, open After Effects and try to do exactly the same or even better if you like. For us to be on the same screen here, I would like you to come to the workspace default here, click on its menu and say reset to save layout. If libraries pop up like this, just click on it, it will close. Another one here on the corner, I would like you to make sure that only the first icon is highlighted and the other two are off. This is on, this is off. Now you are going to create a lower third motion graphics on the video. For this, of course, you will require to import your video into After Effects. To import your video, you just come to the project panel, you right click and go to import, and within import you go to file. It will open your file finder or your file manager, and here please navigate to where you have unzipped the download from the previous lectures and select photographer. Now make sure that create composition is unchecked and click on import. After Effects had imported your video into the project. Now to do any work in After Effects, you need to create a composition. A composition is like a container that has all your videos, your layers, whatever, your animations, and then this is what you will compile later or render and create a video that you can upload to YouTube, for example. To create a new composition from this video, just click on it, drag and drop it inside the timeline. Just release here and a composition is created for you. You can see the composition over here and you have it inside your timeline and it's open for you to start working. This is your timeline, and over here you have a playhead or the timeline indicator. You can click on it and scrub through and you can preview your video. Or if you like, you can press spacebar to play your video. To stop playing, just click on the timeline. That's what I'm used to do. Since the video is going to be our background here, we don't want to do any changes to it. Let's lock this. There is a small lock here. Come next to photographer and click on lock. So now there is no way to change anything. Let's start creating the background for our lower third. On the toolbar over here, you can select the rectangle tool. If you don't see rectangle tool, long click and you have the options over here. You can choose rectangle tool. Come over to the composition viewer and just draw a rectangle, as simple as this. You click and drag. So you notice you click and drag and you create your lower third. This is okay. Now, if you don't like the colors, you can come to color fill, for example, and change it. Let's take some, bright gray, something like this. If you don't want any border, just come to the number 2 here, click on it, and type 0. So now it doesn't have any border. You can deselect pressing F2, and you can see the content that you are working on now. Let's add some text. The text tool is just over here in the toolbar. You can long click on it and then you have horizontal and vertical. Of course, you want to choose horizontal type tool. Now notice the character panel has popped up for you. If it didn't pop up, that's very easy. Go to window and here you are. There is the character panel. You can make sure you check it and it will come over here. Maybe it's closed. You can click on it and again, it will open. Before we start adding some text, let's look at the font. Of course, we don't want to work with Times Roman. Click inside the character. Here you are. It will highlight it all. And let's choose Arial. To choose Arial, just tap A, R, and here you are. You have the fonts that start with AR. I will select Arial Regular. So now that you have your font, let's start writing. We click inside and we write Anne-Marie. To exit editing the text, just go for your selection tool here. If your text is too small or too big, you can come over to the text here font size, click on it, drag right to make it bigger, or drag left to make it smaller. So I'll make it just like this. Now you can also add some italic, it's nice. Let's add some more text. I'll select again the text tool and then come anywhere, click, and let's write photographer. Go for your selection tool and you exited the text tool. You can click on the layer and adjust it the way you would like. But then it's too big here. Let's make it smaller. Come back to the font size and just make it smaller, just like this. Now I would like you to adjust it. So position it wherever you like, something like this. Now that you have done your design, it's time to animate. If you come to this shape layer here, you will find transform. Inside transform, you have several properties that you can animate: position, scale, rotation, and even opacity. Now we want to animate position for the three layers: photographer, Anne-Marie, and the shape layer. Well, there is a shortcut here I want to show you. If you select your shape layer and press Shift, select the Anne-Marie layer, then the photographer, you still have Shift pressed, and you press the key P. Instead of bringing everything up, it will bring only the position. That's pretty practical because that's what you want to animate. Now, we want to start the animation at 1 second. Click on the time indicator and drag it to 1 second. And we want to say that at this time, we want the text to be outside the composition. So we need to move it through position to the outside. The easiest way is to come to position, and you have here the X and the Y. This is vertical and this is horizontal. You can undo using Ctrl Z or Command Z on the Mac. So let's say at this time we want it outside. Let's put it outside. It's over here. Very easy. If you want to initiate the animation for position, you have to click on the stopwatch for the three of them. But since they were selected, clicking on one is like clicking on three of them. Now notice what happened in the timeline. For each position, a keyframe has been created. These keyframes mean at this time, 1 second, position the photographer, Anne-Marie, and the shape layer in these coordinates respectively. As simple as this. Let's go now to 2 seconds. I will click on the time indicator and just drag it to 2 seconds. You can see 2 seconds here. Now at 2 seconds, you want your text to move in. So the easiest way also is to click on one of the position, just click and drag and bring it in. Okay, as simple as this. Notice what happened. The video will start and the animation will be initiated at 1 second. And then After Effects has interpolated between 1 second and 2 seconds your animation. And here you are, it created it. As simple as this. If you press F2 to deselect, then press spacebar to play, you created a very nice animation. But now we can really make it better. Instead of having them all coming at the same time, let's bring in the background first, then the two text characters. So in concept, you want to delay the animation for Anne-Marie and photographer. Click on your layer over here and then click and drag. Here you are, you moved it to this point. Let's do the same for photographer. You click on the layer and you drag it to the outside. Now the animation for shape layer will start over here at the first keyframe, and the animation of the two shape layers will start a bit later. And let's try it. So let's go to the beginning, we click and drag, press spacebar, here you are, the background comes in and the text. Congratulations guys, if you followed along with me, then you have created your first lower third. If you didn't follow along with me, please guys, go back to After Effects and play around and create this lower third. I'll see you in the next lecture.